Hey, Miles here, milesbeckler.com, and in this video, we're going to talk about survivorship bias. We're going to look at how this applies to entrepreneurs in addition to where this idea comes from and why some of the ideas that are being written about in Entrepreneur Magazine and on Medium about how survivorship bias is bad and scary and wrong. They got it all wrong. And I'm going to help you understand this in a light that's going to serve you and that's going to potentially motivate you and assist you in accelerating your growth and helping you get to the next level. So what is survivorship bias? Essentially, if you go to Wikipedia, it's essentially kind of like a flawed way of thinking that by only looking at those who survive, you get a skewed data set, and that skewed data set can potentially lead you to making decisions based on the wrong data. So let's use a real world example of where this came from. In World War II, the British government or the British military came up with a bulletproof material that they could add to their airplanes. And how did they decide where to add this bulletproof material to the planes? Because they couldn't put it everywhere. Well, they looked at all of the airplanes that returned home with bullet holes in them, and those were the areas they chose because obviously that's where the airplanes get shot most. Here's the erroneous part of going about it that way. This is, you can't really track where the bullets that destroyed the airplanes hit, right? Like, so the planes that were hit with bullets and made it home, those obviously weren't the positions on the airplane that caused the airplane to explode and go down. So by putting the kind of material on where they saw that those bullet holes were, they were basing it on erroneous data. Therefore, they were kind of protecting the planes in a place they didn't necessarily need to be protected because planes who got shot there made it back. Does that make sense? I think it does. So now this idea has been extrapolated recently to entrepreneurs. And there's this idea that as a budding entrepreneur or as an entrepreneur, we're told to go find someone creating the result that we desire, go model successful people. And maybe you're looking at Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg and these people, and it could be kind of construed or taken that look at their personality traits, right? They're risk takers, they're willing to lay it all out on the line, they're a little eccentric, they're kind of crazy thinkers. But the challenge with trying to embody those kinds of things for yourself is that there's millions and millions and millions of people who tried and failed with those exact same personality traits. So it might not be worth it to go all in on those kinds of personality traits or follow that exact modeling approach of those who are kind of successful, because you're looking at that little slice of data, those 4 or 5 hyper successful entrepreneurs, but we're ignoring those millions and millions and millions of entrepreneurs who tried in a similar method and failed, right? Media glorifies individuals who succeed. We happen to forget those who failed. It kind of plays into that idea of it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, right? Like everyone hears about them when they hit that event that is that which is an overnight success. Very few people hear about the years and years and years of struggle. So how does this apply to you? Well, my recommendation to you is cultivate the mindset of a survivorship bias. One thing I've done with this channel is my goal is always to be really clear about the amount of work, about the amount of energy and effort it takes, the amount of trial and error it took me to grow my business to a point where I could live off of the income and ultimately live the lifestyle I desired to live, right? Like, you have to get to the point where you are willing to do absolutely whatever it takes with relentless pursuit of your goals, no matter what, in order to achieve survivorship bias for yourself. It's my personal opinion that survivorship bias is why I am successful. I persevered long enough through things that didn't work to find the few things that did work, which I'm still doing over and over and over again today in my main business. These are the same things that I'm now teaching you on this channel. These are the things that I'm doing every day. Publishing content, right? On my wife's site, on our membership program, here on this channel, on social media. We're constantly putting out content. We're growing leads by giving away free things, right? You could go to milesbeckler.com/FB ads and get my free case study where I show you how I generated 14,000 leads for about $888, right? You go there, you're going to opt in, and my autoresponder will follow up with you. You need to do that too. My wife and I now have about 140,000 subscribers on our lists, and I've scrubbed probably 100,000 off over the last several years. The reason we've got to this point is because we figured out how to get 1 subscriber, then 2, then 3, and then we figured out ways to get that subscriber rate to go up, and we've brought in new traffic sources, and we've tried Facebook ads. I think Facebook ads is another place that's a great example to look at how survivorship bias can be a win. People who just dabble with it and just try it and they're like, oh, I didn't get my ROI on my first campaign. Miles, what's wrong with this? They hit me in the comments, oh, this doesn't work. Well, maybe if that's how you're going to leave it, it doesn't work. Personally, I went in and spent, I spent over a year trying to figure it out myself through trial and error, spending my own personal money, flushing most of it down the toilet. Then I decided to go get educated, and I've studied under several different teachers at this point. I didn't go through one course and be like, this is the only one. I've been going through course after course after course to get a lot of different takes to see what do these individuals do that works. And then the most important part, I implement in my business, I test it for myself in my business, and that gives me the data of, aha. So when I structure a little bit of this guy's idea, a little bit of that idea, and I do it my own way for my niche and my targeting, bingo, I'm getting cash flow positive leads and customers. Awesome. Now I'm just going to do that over and over and over again. And I've been doing about the exact same thing on Facebook for about 2 or 3 years now. I'm not trying the Instagram ads or any of these new shiny things that are coming out, the messenger ads. Haven't even tested it for myself at this point because I'm doing that which is working for me, and I'm just going to keep doing it until it is no longer cash flow positive, and then I'll emerge into something new. Really, I want to bring this back to you. I guess one more example, if I may. Another example is network marketing. Now, I do a little bit of network marketing. It's a good business model in one sense, but it's flawed in the sense that it's got really, really small margins. So it's actually incredibly difficult to become a successful network marketer. And if you're in or have ever been around or have seen the network marketing industry, what do you hear about? You hear about that one person who they were down on their luck and they went all in, and sure enough, now they're making $1 bazillion a month, and it's so easy. All they did was tell their friends, and their friends told their friends, and their friends told their friends, and you just got to do what that one person did, and you can be successful too. That's the potential error in survivorship bias, is to look at it like that, because 99.8% of the people attempting to go down that path fail. Who actually makes it in that industry? It's those who persevere enough. They never give up. They have a deep burning desire and a motivation and a determination that gets them to push through absolute challenges, to push through in the face of no after no after no after no. They read the books, they take the time to study, they're absolutely relentless with their pursuit of success. And then here's the kicker, mix it with 10 to 15 years, and I don't care who you are, if you can go about it relentlessly for that period of time, for 10 to 15 years, you will be amazed at what you can create. And that's what my wife and I have done in our internet business. We've literally simply pushed on this. It's 9 years in running now. We have great momentum going. It took about 4 years of hard work, doubting, is this going to work? Is this really for us? Are we ever going to make money off of this? But continuing to adjust and adapt as we go. Adjust and adapt as we go. We've pivoted several times. What we're doing now to generate cash flow is actually different than what we began doing in the original days of this business, but now it's actually working for us. Look at Thomas Edison, the creator of the light bulb. I really hope it was Thomas Edison just came up with that. I'm pretty sure it was, right? He came up with something like 1,000 or 10,000 ways that didn't work. He achieved survivorship bias by getting to that point of continuing to persevere, try something, try something, try something. And most people quit in the face of attempt number 643 that didn't work. They're just like, it's never going to work. I'm done. I'm going to go back to watching Netflix, TV, and drinking beer all the time because that stuff doesn't work. And that, my friend, is the moment where people fail. Those are the people you never, ever hear about. And one of the big challenges in internet marketing, a lot of the sales videos and the sales letters for these high-ticket products and these high-ticket courses, they try to make it sound easy, right? They're giving you a trick. It ain't easy. That's one of the reasons I don't want to ever create a product. I might do a membership program at some point to really go deep deeper on your business with you, but this stuff is not easy. And I need to be able to stand here authentically and honestly and tell you, look, it's going to take you 3 to 5 years of hard work, struggle. You're going to get your knuckles, you're going to bust up your knuckles, you're going to have dirt on your fingernails. It's going to take a lot of hard work. But is it worth it in 10 years to put in a ton of work in the face of doubt, in the face of fear, in the face of criticism, and maybe even humility with your family of, oh, that internet stuff's a scam, right? Is it worth it for you to put that in to be able to generate a $50,000 a month cash flow starting after 10 years, a $100,000 a month cash flow? Because I know those numbers are possible, and it's those who take a survivorship mindset and who become survivors through brute force. Those are the people who achieve those levels of success. I don't know a single person who's generated millions of dollars online who doesn't have a really extreme low point in their story. I bounced off rock bottom. I had to move back into my parents' house, $50,000 in loan, in student loan debt. My wife and I moved back to my parents' tiny house when I was in my 30s. It was a really low experience, but out of that, I got fired up. We built a really strong reason why we had to be successful with this business. And out of that became this relentless pursuit of success. And you have to cultivate that for yourself. And you have to be ready to push through challenge after challenge, because those are the people who succeed. Whether they're presenting it effectively or not, those are the people who succeed. I don't care if it's Russell Brunson or Mike Dillard or Jay Abraham or even Dan Kennedy. We all started flailing, trying to figure it out, doing things that didn't work, observing what happened, and continuing to stick with it, because we're all driven on a level that we have something inside. We got to get this out. We got to figure this out. I can't turn to a corporate. It's just absolutely, I'm psychologically unemployable. I have to figure this out. And if that means waking up at 4 in the morning and working 4 till 7 till I went to work, and then coming home at 5 o'clock at night and working till 2 in the morning, guess what? That's what I did. If it meant not going to the barbecues on the weekends and not going to happy hour on Thursday night with my friends, guess what? That's what I did, because I wanted it that bad, and I cultivated survivorship bias for myself, relentless pursuit of my goals. And you can do this. It's a choice that you have to make. It's a willingness to make that choice. You have the ability to make that choice. So don't buy into this BS that, oh, survivorship bias is they can do it, you can't. That's bullshit. You can do this. You have to commit to it, and you have to be ready, able, and willing to go through absolute hell if necessary to get through to the other side. Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. It's easier to get to the other side and get out of it. And that might be where you're at right now. If you're just embarking, man, this might be a reality check, but it's better to know what's going to happen and what you're approaching from something real like this honest moment I'm having with you than to get caught up in these shiny bullet sales pitches from these products that aren't actually shortcuts. They're actually just going to make money for somebody else, and they're going to distract you from what's important. Make your plan, decide your niche, who you're going to be of service to, and be relentless of being of service to them. Learn how to grow a list, learn how to build a funnel. Everything will work over time. It all starts to make sense once you get your hands dirty. You start fitting the pieces of the puzzle together, and it starts to click. When you get out of just watching videos and researching and into putting in the work, that's when you're actually on the path to success. And then commit to as long as it takes, whatever it takes. Be the survivor. You can become a survivor too. It's a choice. It takes relentless pursuit of it. And I hope this video has served you. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up here in YouTube. I do appreciate it. Leave me a comment if you have a question for me, or if you have a comment or you want to mention something about your path that popped up when you heard this. I do appreciate the comments. I really, really do. And I thank you for your time. I look forward to connecting with you on the next video. Until then, be well, and remember, publish more than you consume. That's the trick to the game. So if you haven't started, get started. If you have gotten started, get back to publishing right now. Now's the time to put out more content. Thanks again for your time. See you on the next video.